Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Sunday services at Center for Spiritual Living, Denver. We are a loving and prospering community in the heart of Denver and online. We now conduct hybrid services at the historic Grant Avenue Community Center and Sacred Place, located at 216 South Grant Street, Denver, Colorado. All are welcomed here. A place, space, and face of love. We are a spiritual community practicing universal principles that enrich our lives. We are grateful that you have blessed us with your presence. While online, we'd love to know you're watching with us. Feel free to leave a comment and let everyone appreciate you. With everything going on, life can feel overwhelming. CSL Denver wants you to know we are here for you. Please know that our practitioners are available for personal prayer work. Our licensed spiritual practitioners' names and phone numbers are available on our website at csldenver.org. Or if you have a prayer request, feel free to email it to info@csldenver.org. For your convenience, you'll find clickable links in the description of this broadcast. Rev Elzia, along with all our guest speakers, practitioners, service coordinators, and musical inspirations, want you to know how truly grateful we are that you are with us today. Thank you for your continued support and participation in our services, workshops, and events, as well as providing financial contributions to our center. If you're interested in upcoming events and information, we send out weekly newsletters. Sign up by visiting www.csldenver.org. We deliver services in a hybrid format where we meet in person at 216 South Grant Street. We will also continue to live stream all services on Facebook and YouTube every Sunday. Find us on our respective channels as well as on New Thought Media Network. Again, thank you for your precious attention. Now prepare for engaging enlightenment.
There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. light and love. You can't have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. Such a beautiful garden. That garden is you.
Good morning. I'm Alice Nutter, a practitioner here at CSL Denver. Welcome, everybody. It's a beautiful winter morning or spring, whatever you want to call it. Let's move into an invocation. So if you will sit back in your seat and choose to, please close your eyes and just take in a nice deep breath. And move your attention into this space and this place of love that is always here. It is that divine nature that is moving, living, and breathing each and every one of us. And I know that I am that, as everyone here who has chosen to be in person or online or watching later, just absolutely knowing the truth of who each one of us is. And from that place, knowing that this service is so truly blessed, and all who choose to listen or watch us just take something out into their lives with that gift of the divine. And so Reverend Elzia's words are blessed. My reading is blessed. The music is blessed by Susan Clark, and all of our support, tech support, and all of that is just so truly blessed. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this community. I'm so grateful for each beloved person who has chosen to be involved with CSL Denver. And from that place of deep, deep gratitude, I release this into that one mind, that one heart, knowing that all is well, and it is so. Amen. So my reading today is from Your Thought is Your Life, from the Discover the Power Within You by Eric Butterworth. I love that book. It's an awesome book. We are living in an age of discovery. A day rarely passes when the news media do not report the discovery of some new star or technique or cure or process. It is estimated that man's, woman's total body of knowledge doubled between 1775 and 1900. It doubled again between 1900 and 1950, again between 1950 and 1958, and it is now thought to be doubling every 5 years. But remember, this book was written in 1968, so who knows how it's doubling. Locked within the superconsciousness of man, woman, are the answers to all the problems and the secret of all the mysteries that mankind will ever face. Man, woman is a thinking being. Jesus realized that the mind is the bridge between man and the infinite, and that the important element in religion is not simply fervency and feeling, but man's, woman's thoughts and attitudes. You are radiating centers of the truth in the world, Jesus is saying, but be mighty sure that your awareness of the truth is dynamic and not static. Your knowledge of the truth must first of all lead to self-knowledge. In your study of the truth, remember, with all thy getting, get understanding. If you who believe in the divinity of man and the omnipresence of God do not act as if you believe it, then what hope is there for the world? Your responsibility to yourself, as well as to the divine law, is to keep yourself inwardly poised and to keep your thoughts positive and loving, in spite of injustice or disorder around you. This is a large order. But then we are dealing with a large and wonderful principle, the divinity of man, woman. If you remember who you are and keep your inward contact, you will not let yourself be drawn into experiences on another level of thought. You will meet them on your level, for your thought is your life. It has been said, things may happen around you and things may happen to you, but the only things that really count are the things that happen in you. We can't always control what happens to us, but we can control what we think about what happens. And what we are thinking is our life at any particular moment. And from our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, To love God and to love our neighbors as ourselves means to see God in everything and include everyone in one divine unity. That was from Words That Heal Today. And he also says, infinite and immutable as the law is, ever present and available as it must be, the potential possibility of human probability, it must flow through us in order to manifest for us. And that's from The Science of Mind. And now for some music from Susan Clark.
Hello, CSL Denver. Susan Clark with you to provide some music for your service. And I always like to say a special hello and welcome to those of you who might be joining us online, either now or later. We're happy that you made the decision to tune in. This song is called What You Think, and it was written by Dana Angellini. I hope you enjoy it. Everything you think about, everything you feel inside, everything you focus on shows up on the outside. Good or bad, it's up to you. Whatever you believe is true, the universe will give it to you every time. It's time to use the power of your mind. The power of attraction, well, it's the law of mind in action. And a whole chain reaction is what you get. Pay attention to your mind, 'cause you're creating all the time. Oh, what you think is what you get. Oh, what you think is what you get. Standing in the light of love, I'm calling to the heavens above. Push is finally coming to shove in my life. Thank God I could finally see the creator of my world is me. There'll be no more victim thinking for me in my life. I'm gonna use the power of my mind. Power of attraction, well, it's the law of mind in action. And then a whole chain reaction is what you get. Pay attention to your mind, 'cause you're creating all the time. Oh, what you think is what you get. Power of attraction, well, it's the law of mind in action. A holy chain reaction is what you get. Pay attention to your mind, 'cause you're creating all the time. Oh, what you think is what you get. Oh, what you think is what you get. Oh, what you think is what you get. Thank you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. And welcome to CSL Denver, a place, a space, and a face of love. A spiritual community teaching ancient wisdom and utilizing principles that expand into laws and that are activated in every part of our lives. So if it feels comfortable, I just want to make sure that we are seated at the feet of wisdom, that we are going within and that we are prepared to receive. So if it feels comfortable, close your eyes and just invoke the presence of the divine. Spirit of infinite possibilities. We welcome your presence in this place. We open our minds to the laws that govern the universe and all creation. May every thought we think today be aligned with clarity. May every word spoken be rooted in truth. May every action we take be a conscious cause for the healing, justice, and expansion of our lives. We affirm that we stand in the flow of a universe that is orderly, responsive, and abundant. We send forth blessings to every person that hears this message, knowing that this service is a doorway to awareness, a catalyst for transformation, and a reminder that we live in a world of infinite possibilities. And so it is. Amen. And so, as we continue this theme for the month of this ancient ancestral wisdom, today we come to that pivotal point where it's time to stand up and be counted. As we look at this whole idea of cause and effect. Now, we stand on sacred ground that the ground of consciousness, the ground of action, the ground of being. And as we celebrate Dr. King's life, works, ideas, and actions during this weekend, let us remember what he taught. He taught the idea that the universe is morally structured, spiritually alive, and responsive to causes we set forth. Now that is a sermon all in itself. All in itself. If we just contemplated on the idea that the universe is morally structured, spiritually alive, and responsive to the causes that we set in motion. Now, we know from our teachings, from Dr. Holmes, that everything in the universe is creative, that we live in a creative universe and that it responds to us in kind. And so today we're going to explore two principles, two laws: the law of cause and effect and the law of infinite possibilities. Now, the law of cause and effect says that nothing happens by accident. Everything unfolds from a seed, an idea, a concept, or a word. There are no accidents. We live in a law-based universe. So, not like the man-made laws. Let's be clear about the laws we're talking about. The law of electricity works on this planet, it works the exact same way, no matter where the country is, whether it's in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere, it works that way. There's a cause and effect relationship. And the idea of infinite possibilities speaks to this idea that we live in an abundant world. Alice talked about it from Butterworth. Every period of cycle of time, we're finding new things and new discoveries, and some of them are becoming just quite shocking. Which speaks to the idea that the creativity of mankind is infinite as well. That when you look at some of the things that are created, whether you agree with them or not, you look at them from a creator standpoint and you say, wow, that's pretty creative. I don't know if I would have thought of that. I don't even know if I would have had the patience to put forth the cause to make that thing happen. But when these two laws, when these two principles come together, we stand at a place that Dr. King talked about, when he said that he'd gone to the mountaintop and he'd seen what's possible. He's seen what's possible because he allowed this infinite law of cause and effect and infinite possibility to see that if we put the right things in motion, there's a mathematical result that's going to happen. If I put wood in the fire, mathematically, now it depends on the thickness of the wood and the dampness of the wood, but if I leave it in that fire long enough, mathematically, by law, it is going to burn. So we begin to see that cause and effect are not always closely related. But we live in a world now where we think cause and effect is not only related, but it's instantaneous. We got all kinds of devices that make us think everything happens right now. You're not going to plant a tomato plant and get no tomatoes right now. I can tell you that. You're not even going to say, I'm going to be on the moon, and presto, like bewitched, trickle your nose, and you're going to be on the moon. There's a process that goes effect there. Now, Ernest Holmes taught this, that we live in a spiritual universe governed by mental laws. And when we think about that and we look at these circumstances, Eckhart Tolle, some of you, I'm sure, are familiar with Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle said this. Somewhere he said it. I know he said it. And there it is. See, I told y'all. Y'all didn't believe me. When you become comfortable with uncertainty, infinite possibilities open up in your life. Comfortable with uncertainty. And I would suggest that we're all living right now in a little bit of uncertainty. When we look around and we see the things that are going on within us and without, there is uncertainty. There's uncertainty what's going to happen out here. And I'm sure some of us have, even if it's a small amount, we have a little bit of uncertainty in here about how I'm going to respond, how I'm going to act, what I'm going to do. This idea of cause and effect begins to allow us to understand a little better of how we do that. And because we're in this infinite possibility, they say, necessity is the motherhood of creativity. Right now, it is necessary for every person that is in tune or in touch or even have the channel turned on to the divine to put some causes in motion for the balance of humanity, for the safety and sanctity of this planet. And so, as Ernest said, that this thing is a thought mechanism, we come to the idea that life is not random, life is not chaotic, and life is not determined by fate. If you plant potatoes, you're going to get potatoes. That's what Ernest taught. There's no randomness in there. There's no chaotic thing going on. So we have to begin to understand that life responds in kind. We move in a way that allows us to do that. And so when we look at Dr. King and we look at his work, he said that he was a drum major for justice. That was the cause that he put out in the universe. A drum major for justice. So if you think about that, when we think about justice, for me, it takes me back to that ancient idea from Egypt of Ma'at, which stands for truth, justice, reciprocity, and balance in the universe. So if I'm a drum major for peace, if I'm a drum major for justice, I'm looking to affect a cause that makes everything in harmony. Cause and effect. Because I know when things are in harmony, infinite possibilities happen. When they're chaotic, that's not always the case. Not always the case. So some of us have gotten mixed emotions or incorrect teachings about this law of cause and effect. We look at it as a straitjacket. We look at it as something that's restrictive. But I would say this: you reap what you sow. What you circulate comes back to you. What you reflect in the mirror is reflected back to you. Meaning, whatever you embody, you see the experience and the evidence of it. There's no magic about getting big muscles. I wish I had some, but ain't no magic about it. I just got to go to the gym and be consistent and begin to embody it. And it will reflect itself in my life. I will begin to reap what I sow. The circulation of me getting up, going to the gym and sweating and grunting and all that stuff will be shown in my presence, in my health. So Dr. Holmes teaches that thought is creative. And in line with that, Dr. King teaches that moral action, I'll say that again, moral action is transformative. And together they point to a deeper truth. That you can't just, as my dad would say, you just can't sit on your rusty dusty. You got to get in action. You cannot think of peace and sow chaos. The two don't work together. You cannot affirm abundance and circulate fear. Now here's a catcher. Here's a catcher. You cannot pray. Let me say that again before I even get to the punch. You cannot pray for healing and practice resentment. Can't do it. We're talking about mathematical law that works. Now the time that it takes, you know, if I got good soil and I plant the plants, it might grow a little quicker than the one in some not so good soil. But it's coming. And the quality of that plant will be directly related to the quality of the soil and the quality of my attention to the plant. The law responds to what we do, what we embody, not what we recite. Tell you a story about two farmers. So there's these two farmers who live side by side, and they were both getting ready to start the season. And so they had equal amount of everything. Everything was, you know, set up for them to be successful. And they prayed for a great harvest and abundance. But the difference was this: one went and tilled the ground, cleared the weeds, fixed the irrigation system, got all his tools sharpened and fixed up so that he would be ready. The other farmer, although he prayed, he just sat there and waited for a sign. Waited for some miraculous thing to happen, something random. And when the rain came, he wasn't successful because he did not prepare the right things at the right time. He did not put the action in motion. And when so we think about that, and when we go and we look at what it is that is happening in our lives, we're praying for all kinds of things. But how much effort are we doing to prepare ourselves to create the container to receive that prayer once we pray? It's a cause and action universe. There's never been a one-sided coin. And there's a 50-50 chance, the law of mathematics says, there's a 50-50 chance when you flip a coin that you're going to get heads or tails. We have to get involved and understand this law of cause and effect if we're going to participate in the law of infinite possibilities. There's no way around it. We can't sit idle. When we align ourselves with cause and effect, we allow the creative force to become alive within us. We allow it to move through us. The universe is not random. If someone shows you something that they say is random, I would suggest you say, oh, well, maybe there's a law emerging that we're not aware of just yet. It looks random, but there's a law behind that that's moving it, that's unfolding it, that's making it happen. And when we can begin to be centered enough and patient enough and aligned enough with the universal idea of oneness, we see it all unfold. We look at the birth process. Now, maybe some others in here like me that was premature. I don't know why that happened. I don't know what was I thinking. But the birth process is mathematically calculated. This idea of oneness, because after the going through the cycle and the time, it gives you an idea of what oneness looks like. There's a certain time when fingers are developing. There's a certain time when the organs are developing. Mathematical. Of course, we know with math, there's a plus or minus in all of it. But when we look at the universe, that plus and minus is God at work, God in action. Stephen Covey, some of you may be familiar with him. He was over in Utah. He wrote a couple of good books called Principle-Centered Leadership, and he wrote one, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He said this: we are free to choose our actions, but we are not free to choose the consequences of these actions. Think about that. You can choose anything you want, but you're not free to choose what happens when you put that into motion. That's where we are today, I believe. We're in a place where we have to begin to put things into motion. We have to be the cause. We have to be the cause. We have to take responsibility for our outcomes. Because if we don't, we wind up in a state of despair, in a state of confusion, and dare I say, limited possibilities. But we know the universe is infinite. So when I think about that, and I look at that next slide by Ernest Holmes. Ernest Holmes says this: cause begin with consciousness, but it is completed in action. It begins in consciousness, but it's completed in action. So let's think about this. So what's working is not positive thinking. Quiet as it's kept. I know that's a popular term right now, and it's a possible thing, and everybody's talking about possibility thinking, or thinking positively. But what we have to begin to think or use as our thought mechanism is causal thinking, causal living. So that what I am, what I believe, is consciously revealing itself. What I am is done repeatedly, and that I practice it every day. just like building the muscles. You got to practice every day or at least every other day. We don't want to wear the muscle out. Although we can't wear God out. God, if you ask, He's going to provide. She's going to provide. But we want to create a rhythm. We want to create a daily habit. We look at the sun, the moon. There's a pattern. There's a habit of the sun rising every 12 hours or 24 hours, depends on how you count and where you stand. Now, we played some tricks on it by daylight savings and that kind of savings and this kind of savings, but that doesn't affect the cycle that's going on. That's us, right? And we probably could take a vote and 50% say let it be one way and 50% say let it be the other way. But the idea that something has to happen is key. Is key. So the question becomes, how do we begin to use these laws in our lives to activate infinite possibilities and working with the law and not against the law? Just imagine, we have that law called gravity. We got some pretty hilly places here in Colorado. In fact, we got some mountains. And I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts that no one is going up Mount Evans or just pick one and take the brake off the car and stand in front of it trying to, I don't know what you're trying to do if you do it, but I hope you don't do it. Try to hold that car from gravity taking it down the hill. Not how the law works. So there's three things I want to give us that opens this idea of cause and effect and infinite possibility when we can align ourselves with them. The first one is this: the inevitability of the law. There are no chances. There are no hocus pocuses. It is inevitable that once the law is activated, that it will do its thing. And so we have to learn and understand that as we plant new causes, right? As we plant new ideas of who we want to be or the world we want to live in, we don't have to worry about chance. I just need to follow the law. No one is planning, I'm take that back. In Colorado, the weather is all messed up right now. But naturally, no one is planning anything in the winter because it does not go with the law. And if you plant it now, I don't care how much you pray, it ain't gonna work. Sooner or later, we're gonna get some snow in Colorado and it's gonna get cold and winter will be here. So we have to begin to understand that there's an inevitability of the law. There is a process, there is a pattern that's in effect in everything that happens. And that there's no such thing as luck and coincidence. That's just law misunderstood or law not recognized. So when we can start there, that creates the infinite possibility, because now I don't understand this law. I got to play with it. I got to ask questions about it. I got to engage with it. And every time I do, just think about when you were a kid and pick a activity or a thing. It doesn't matter, that you didn't quite understand. How many of you tore up the family radio because you wanted to figure out where that person was in that box? Just took it all apart. He got to be in here somewhere. Took the whole thing apart and couldn't put it back together, so you got in trouble. I ain't talking about myself, but I may be talking about somebody in here. We have to understand that these laws are universal. They happen everywhere and to everybody equally in relationships to how we activate them. The second thing is this: every moment is the threshold of infinite possibilities. There's this verse out of the Kabbalion when I'm thinking about this inevitability. It says, every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. Nothing escapes the law. Just be curious. Just be aware. Just ask the question. Just be that little kid to tap the radio. And we'll begin to understand what we're working with and how to work better with it. Once we do that, we understand that every moment we stand at the threshold of infinite possibilities. Dr. King put it real succinctly, I think. Dr. King said, we stand in life at midnight. We are always on the threshold of a new dawn. Always on the threshold of a new dawn. No matter how dark the midnight seems, there's a pattern that we talked about. There's this cycle of the sun doing its thing. So we're always, no matter how dark it seems, we are always standing at the verge of a new dawn. And our life is a mirror of what we're reflecting back out, what we've embodied. So we are asked, we are called, we are employed to ask the question, what am I bringing forth as a container? What am I doing here as I play this game called life? Do I have the right equipment on? Am I playing football with a baseball uniform on? Or am I playing baseball with a hockey uniform on? Both of those situations are going to cause some interesting results. Interesting results. So we have to expand our container. We have to and understand the environment that we're in and play accordingly. Not play as in following along, but play as a skilled player, which leads to this next and final point, is we must become masters of the universe. Ernest Holmes says, refusing to speak the truth is to deny the law the opportunity to act. We must become masters and speak our word into existence. We must put forth actions that require cultivation and that are guaranteed because we are operating within the law. We're operating within the law. You know, one of Ernest's famous statements, change your thinking and change your life. Change your thinking and change your life. Not always as easy as it sounds. Raymond Charles Barker, one of Dr. Holmes's cohorts, if you will, he said this: indecision is a decision. It produces its own results. Now, in plain English, that means you can't stand on the sideline saying you ain't gonna get involved. Well, you can, because we got free choice. But just know, because of cause and effect, that there is a response for not responding. And so let us begin to understand the law, to understand that any moment is the moment of infinite possibilities. And when we become masters of the universe, we are ready, willing, and able to move forward without any doubt. Ernest Holmes is so particular in the way he teaches us. Treat, pray, and move your feet. Do something. I can't pray for health and still do unhealthy things. I can't pray for prosperity and do things that are counter to prosperity. I can't pray for health, wealth, and well-being and get caught up in whatever. We must learn to do that. Dr. King said this, and I'll close with this. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Say that again. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. So here's an invitation today for each and every one of us. Stop arguing with effects and start choosing better choices. Stop thinking or shrinking to possibility that will match your past experience. And expand your concept to believe and understand that the world is infinite and you will receive in kind. Let us pray. Heavenly Mother, Father God, that balanced, harmonious representation of the entire universe that employs us to be inquisitive, that employs us to be creative, just as the divine mind of God is, because we are one with that, because we are that, because in the beginning there was only that. And so this story of oneness, of laws and cause and effect and infinite possibility is exactly who we are. And as we continue to explore and ask questions and be aware and observe, we begin to take on the aspects of our true nature and become masters of the universe. Ready, willing, and able to do miraculous things. And so I know right here, right now, whether you're here or whether you're listening online or whether you hear this later, I know that there is something stirring within you, something that is awakening you to a higher calling, to a greater yet to be. And that we are understanding individually and collectively that we are the ones that we have absolutely been waiting for. And so as we align ourselves with universal laws and the principles that create worlds, we begin to feel comfortable in our own skin. Ready, willing, and able to get rid of those things that no longer serve us and embrace those things that cause us growth, that cause us transformation, no matter how challenging or difficult they may be. Because the fruit is always sweeter when you've put your love and care and energy into it. And so it is an understanding of this law, of this way of living, this cause and effect idea that I give thanks. I give thanks because I see that in every aspect of life. Everywhere I look, I see the cause and effect relationship, not in a judgment standpoint, not in a I'm better than you or any of that. It is in the concept and idea that the law is mathematical and it has no judgment. And so I'm thankful that, because I know I can activate it just like anyone else and get exactly what I intend. And so we just settle into that and we release this into a law that is already working. It's been listening closely and attentive as we began this service, and it is already putting those things in motion to awaken us to a higher understanding. And so with that, I just release, I let go, and I know that this is absolutely so because it's according to law. So I release it and know that it is already done in the mind of God, and so it is. Amen. And so this call to action is what we do, right? We got to go to work. And so this is just taking a little idea on this plant thing, and this will be on the website if you don't get it. But the call, look at a plant, i.e., choose a cause, whatever it is. ID one specific intention for the next 30 days, not 10, one. An example might be, I am building financial stability. I am cultivating peace at home. I am restoring my body. So just pick one that we're going to work with for 30 days. And then water it. Daily reinforcements. Small daily acts that match the seed, i.e. that match the idea. If I'm talking about I want a restorative body, I gotta that thing is I gotta watch what I eat. I gotta get some exercise. I can't say I want a restorative body. I'm just gonna sit here and read my books all day and get wise. That ain't gonna work. And just take 3 minutes in the morning and make a declaration. Align with the choice for the day. And then protect that, right? And then alignment. As we do these things, even if we're not in alignment, the more we do them, the more we get in alignment with them. And ask, where am I planting one thought but watering another? And then we'll receive, and we track the results. And then maybe one community cafe, we'll just talk about it. What you plant, what you get. The results follow cause. Action and intention is mathematical. So that's the charge for the next 30 days. And you know, for those of you who are in tune with different modalities and aspects of the universe, today is a brand new moon. And that new moon, for anyone who is in the sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn is a sign that speaks to work and responsibility, an outcome that is directly proportioned to that. And so that's where we find ourselves. And so as we think this and work this idea, here's the affirmation for this week that'll keep this centered in us. I release old patterns and open to infinity. Infinite possibilities. I choose thoughts that heal, words that bless, and actions that align. And so it is. And so it's that time where we do our sacred giving, our planting some seeds for this community, for this idea, for this teaching. And we want to thank each and every one of you online, in presence, or whether you just hear my voice through the ethers. Thank you for your time, treasure, and talents, because it gives us an idea and an opportunity to keep putting forth to the community to affect change. And so if you look across the bottom of the screen, you'll see the many different ways you can give. You can go to our website, you can give in the center, you can send check or money order, or you can do text to give. But however you give, please do. And to anchor this, we have an affirmation that we use, that we place our hand on our heart to create that law of circulation that says, this perfect gift is spirit informed, circulating and blessing all that it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive, and so it is, amen. And so it is, amen. And so Alice is going to come up and give us some announcements, and then we'll close out. Thanks, Alice.
Thank you, Reverend Elzia. Powerful, powerful talk today. And that reminds me, if you want to re-listen to it or watch his, or look at his call to action and affirmation slides, go to our website, www.cslddenver.org, and it's under Minister Messages. And so there's we copy the video to that, and then also list the slides from that. And we still have new January, February 2026 Science of Mind magazines available for purchase. They are $10, and it's a dual month. It's January, February. So help yourself. And there's several older magazines that you are welcome to pick up and take home and read. Just a lot of great stuff in those. And there's also some remaining Burning Bowl booklets, magnetic bookmarks, and pens that Tim gifted us at the Burning Bowl. So if you want to just still set some intentions for the year, then grab some of those off the table. And today, right after service, after just a little bit of cleanup and some fellowship, we will have our Divine Dialogue. And that's where Reverend Elzia and the CSL Denver practitioners, we just have some coffee and fellowship, and then we just get together and discuss whatever is on our mind, whatever the questions you may have about his talk or whatever. And then next week, I will be doing a community cafe on, it's the Empowerment Dynamic, or TED, Revisited. Back in August of 2025, I made a presentation on that, and we had some exercises and stuff, and we're just going to continue that, do some a little bit more explanation, if answer any questions, do some additional exercises, and be able to have the empowerment dynamic, like Reverend Elzia said, changing our thinking, moving out of the drama triangle into the empowerment dynamic, and making our lives work a little bit better and not be at the effect of our belief systems or the effect of the world. So the community cafe, it's every fourth Sunday, and just bring a dish to share, a friend if you wish, and we will just circle up and share some food and some community and just have a great time. Our Curiosity Corner is still available. We have a bargain basement over on the right-hand side. Every book, tape, and all of that is $1 on the table, and then everything on the left, there are some different prices. Please take a look at those and take them home with you, because I don't want to take them back to my house or whoever else donated them. So we are so blessed to have New Thought Media Network and Diego as our Sunday services producer. We invite you to go to www.ntmedia.org and check out what they have. They have over 40 hours of weekly broadcast programs. There's something for everyone, so please just check it out. And we are so truly blessed by everyone who has chosen to support CSL Denver by showing up on Sundays or watching our services online. We know that as we move through this year, the Divine Beloved is guiding and loving each and every one of us. Thank you for joining us. And let's close out with Karen Drucker singing, I Am So Grateful.
Hey, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. I'm so grateful.